Hi there VC, Steve Whitty here, time for another video. Back after a little bit of a New Year break, and because I've got good reason to do a video. And yesterday there was a VC meetup in Sutton Coldfield, my hometown. The meetup consisted of David Atkinson, Gav Axman Spins, Rob Walker, John 6-inch pianist, and Harvey Spin the Black Circle. This was his first ever VC meetup. So we met apart from John, met up at Greg's and made our way to Trinity Hall in Sutton Coldfield. It's by the Holy Trinity Church. It's the main church in Sutton Coldfield, so to speak. Myself, Harvey and David both all live in Sutton Coldfield, so this was brilliant. It sort of replaces the big vinyl fair they used to have in Birmingham. They don't have one in the centre of Birmingham anymore, VIP fair, so they moved it to Sutton Coldfield and Walsall, and it's been going. It seems to be working. There were a lot of people in there yesterday. We all got early bird tickets, which was nice because it actually meant we could have a little bit of a look, chat to people before the crowds came in. It was crowded. There was quite a lot of good stuff there. I mean, I overspent on the day, and we'd, as you normally do, it's supposed to be tailing it back a little bit, but you don't. Anywho, what you're here to see is actually what I purchased yesterday. So we all went in. We sort of all went our different ways, looked, and I looked at the one vendor in sort of like the lobby area, and picked up this album. It's an album I've always wanted. Beware the Glare. It's Monkey's Head. There you go. The soundtrack to the TV movie, which was a bit of a disaster for them. Best known song on here is Purpose Song. This is a Rhino reissue, and yeah, I was pleased to get this. It's been an album I wanted for a while, and it's just pleased to have it. Yes, Rhino reissues. I don't think you can go wrong with them. Then I went into the main hall and just walked around. There was a lot of stuff. I was thinking, should I pick it up now and pay for it now? Shall I come back to later? And I thought, no, leave it till later. There's always a chance it'll still be there. Yeah, if it's not, well, so be it. And went to this one vendor, and he'd got a lot. He got 3 tables and got some valuable records, got some cheap records. But I come across an album that Gav Axman Spins mentioned in his video that he picked up recently when I saw it, and it was band big hit single I knew, but it was a sound I liked, sort of post punk, and the album is The Passions, and it's 30,000 Feet Over China. They were a bit of a one-hit wonder. Came out in 1981, and opening track is the best known track, I'm in Love with a German Film Star. Great song, great atmospheric song with the opening on the guitar. It comes into the voice. Yeah, really good album. Pleased to have this again. Sort of look, when it's coming down to buying, I'm sort of like looking at stuff that I want to sort of like legacy type things, into the collection. I am getting pretty full, so I think this was something we all discussed yesterday, that we're all pretty full, or we've all got to pull back or cull a few records from the collection, but it doesn't stop us buying them. As you'll see from the other guys when they post their videos from the day. Moving along, the tables secondhand, but inside was a lot of new sealed stuff. 2 vendors had particularly cornered that side of things, and that was one of the things. I had a couple of ideas what I wanted to mention to the guys. I wanted to see if I could find a copy of Big Star #1 record. Couldn't see it, and Karma reissues, couldn't see them. But I had in mind, well, there's a lot of sealed stuff comes in, and it might be worth just going through that. And yes, I did find some. So the first thing that I found was Bloodwind Pigs, Head Rings Out, the debut album. This is obviously Mick Abrahams, who left Jethro Tull at the time, that sort of fell out with Ian Anderson, and formed Bloodwind Pig. They made 2 albums, as I said, this being a debut. This is a 2018 reissue, and I just really was getting, I picked it up, I thought, well, I'll have that, you know. I don't see originals floating around. I'll take it. It sort of fits, sort of like blues rock, which sort of thing I'm into. Then moved on, and I saw this in one basket, and I thought, no, I'll leave it. I'll come back. But as I was moving around, it came up a couple of times. So the third time, I picked up Judy Steele's, Judy Steele, album, and I know Harvey picked up an original. There you go. It's a music on vinyl reissue, and they tend to be good reissues. So I was happy with that. And yeah, I can't wait to play this. Sort of sad story. Some of it's of her own making. And yeah, still I haven't took the price tags off. Some of it's of her own doing. Yeah, she did appear on the old grey whistle test, excuse me. She did appear on the old grey whistle test, and she was a favourite of David Geffen's. Yeah, she loved the voice. Yeah, and she, for some reason, didn't break, and I think she just died in sort of like poverty, drug overdose. It's just, I mean, she used to burgle or prostitute herself just in order to get money. It's a sad story. It's a film is worth making. I'd certainly watch a biopic of that. Moving around again, and I bumped into an album I'd been looking at online on Amazon, but I found it in there, and it's XTC's Skylarking, which was the album that Todd Rundgren produced, and it caused many fractions between him and Andy Partridge. And it's amazing how it ever came out. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. So I found that. And then moving on, I just found a copy of this. Nonsuch came out in 1992. Again, it's a reissue. It's a 200-gram reissue. I think they came out 2020. There you go. Opening track, The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead. The first I knew of that track was actually when the Crash Test Dummies had done it. They did there was a tribute album to Andy Partridge and XTC, and they covered Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead. Great song. Again, I'm looking forward to listening to this. I only need to get really oranges and lemons, and and I did see a copy, but I thought I've spent too much. There, I thought wrong. Just further along, there was the £10 sealed. I thought, well, let's have a look. There might not be much of interest there. Normally, isn't it? It's normally, sort of like stuff that you'd normally take a punt. However, when I saw this, I knew I had to pick it up. Porcupine Tree, their last album, Closure, Continuation. Probably it's the last Porcupine Tree, because obviously Stephen Wilson's doing his own stuff. It's the first Porcupine Tree album I've got in the collection, and decided to pick it up for a tenner. You can't go wrong. So, and I kept flicking through, and I saw a copy of this. It's the New Pornographers, and it's their debut album, Mass Romantic. I think it came out. Well, this is a 21st anniversary edition of the record. I'm trying to think when it originally came out, and I can't see. So, and I knew the track, the Letter from an Occupant. That's how I knew it. Six Music at the time was playing that song a lot. So, again, it was for the tenner. I couldn't say no. I think we all agreed that we had to get out and go to the pub, something to eat. So we Bottle of Sack was the pub we entered. Ended up having a couple of drinks and something to eat. I think we all deserved it. And then it sort of split off a little bit. Johnny Gav had to get back, and itself, Rob, Harvey, and David it was David's suggestion. Shall we go Bridge 2.0 Records in Brown Hills? Now I said I was keen to go because I had never been to the shop before, so I think they took, and obviously Rob had come down from Stockport in order to attend, and he said that'll be a good idea. So I went with David. Harvey and Rob made their way there. I think Harvey beat us to it. He found a shortcut, and it's Bridge 2.0. They used to own, they got two guys that owned it, and I forgot their names. Used to own the shop in Walsall, and I'm sure I must have visited that in my youth. Obviously they've closed it, but they opened up in Brown Hill. Brown Hills is north of Walsall. It's, if you go on the Chester Road from not too far from where I live, you go straight up, and it's on the left hand side, so to speak. Small shop, bit like size of, maybe a little bit bigger than the size of the shop I normally go to, Psychotron, but it got plenty of stock in there. Harvey and David go up there quite a lot. I mean, David did a video with Gav Axman spins inside the shop, and great shop. Everything's stacked out, helpful. The guys were helpful. A lot of stuff in there. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to rein it back. I've got to rein it back. And, you know, I've spent a lot already. In fact, I've felt guilty about it. I've already spent that much. However, I found a copy of Easy Action, Alice Cooper Band. I think it's their second album. Original gatefold or Warner Brothers, I think. And it's an album. I've not got the early stuff, so I see that, and I thought, well, I'll pick that up. And then moving round, I found a couple of albums by this band, Humble Pie. Rock On. Came out in 1971. This was the last album to feature Peter Frampton. And yeah, so I was saw that, and I was just flicking through. I found a copy of Smoking. Again, came out in 1972. Both of these records are from 2017. In fact, they must have come from the reissue, box set reissue, because they're not listed on Discogs individually. In fact, they've got the same barcode on there, which indicates the box set. So yeah, I picked up. They were reasonably cheap. And then finally, I thought, when I'm done, I transferred some money over, and then I was flicking. I just going through the Pink Floyd, and I found a copy of this at a really good price. So I found the record I purchased from Bridge was David Gilmour's On an Island. Classic album, great album. Features David Crosby and Graham Nash on there doing the backups on an Island. It's just a beautiful album, mellow album, just a sort of laid back album. Something to, you want to sort of like chill out on a Sunday night or something to play. Hopefully that's what I'll be doing today, as I'm recording this on a Sunday. So there you go. We all had a great time. It was a full day, long day. And yeah, we're looking forward to doing it again. Great. The best part of the VC, if those of you you're new to doing video, is actually having the meetups. Showing the records is great, and getting likes and getting the odd bit of VCLT, great as well. But in truth, it's actually meeting up with people, because you can trade stories, especially over a few points. And yeah, great. Hopefully we'll do it again soon. So there you go, VC. I hope you like what you see. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love the interaction. Whatever you do, take care of yourselves. More importantly, keep on spinning and keep on smiling.